Hello you guys, welcome to your weekly card pull. My name is Alexa, I go by Alexa wWelcome, and today I'm going to be doing a reading for the week of February 13th, 2023. This specific reading is channeled for all of my Gemini, so if you have a Gemini sun, moon, rising, or north node, this one is for you. I have a couple of decks out today. I'm going to start out with some Oracle, and then I'm going to move into Tarot or maybe another Oracle deck, depending on what comes up and where I'm feeling drawn. So, my dear Geminis, getting right on into it, at the beginning of every single reading, I like to ask what guidance, what perspective might be helpful for you guys to keep in mind for this upcoming week, and then from there we will see what pops up. So, I am using my Crystal Spirits deck. It is honestly, I think this is one of the most encouraging decks I've ever worked with in my life. It's the first deck that I purchased. I never do a reading where I feel worse. Like, I always feel better after I do a reading with this deck. So we are going to start out with some encouragement to see where you guys are at, what might be coming up for you. I'm seeing some black stones. Black is kind of a big theme for today. I feel like some of you are going into some rebirth, rejuvenation times maybe. Oh yeah, okay, black and green, interesting. So I'm going to start out with these four that I pulled for you guys. So first one, I'm going to start out with some real positive. I pulled for you guys Green Aventurine in the upright position, and this card is all about good luck, new opportunities, good fortune, new doors opening. So there is some really amazing expansion that I feel like you guys are kind of inviting into your lives right now, and I would recommend that you enjoy that. This upcoming week, Geminis, some doors are going to open for you. I'm going to probably ask a little bit more clarity on that, but I want to address these other cards first. Maybe those will answer it for me. So Moldavite, this card is all about transformation, rebirth by fire, so some level of revitalization or renewal, especially if you have been tired or exhausted or stressed out or a lot of chaos, especially if there's been that chaos in your life. This card acknowledges that some new doors are opening. So honestly, like, completely new chapter for you guys. Between these two, excuse me, a completely new chapter is opening up for you with a lot of good fortune. And again, this is probably going to be a result of past experiences that may have been painful or may have been challenging. So I might get a little bit more information on that shortly. Yeah, I'm gonna go into this first. So I did pull for you guys also the card of Numite. I love this card. This card is all about self-mastery. So there is definitely, I think some of you are conquering certain levels of yourself this upcoming week. This feels like a big week, honestly, for all of the signs. But I feel like for a lot of you, maybe you've been doing some shadow work. I feel like you're graduating something. It could be an online course, it could be a program, could be school, could also be a life chapter or a life event, maybe some kind of sporting event, competition, personal relationship goals, maybe a proposal or marriage, I feel like a lot of you are graduating into a new cycle and a new phase of life. Again, Green Aventurine is telling me that you have some new opportunities opening up. So if this week those doors are not opening, I feel like the opportunities or the setups for those will begin to unfold. So if you're not feeling like if you're feeling like where is my shining moment, I think for a lot of you it's coming, and if the door hasn't already been opened, it will this upcoming week, especially if you focus on, again, mastering yourself, mastering your emotions. I pulled this one upright, so this is a very positive sign. I feel like a lot of you are in a position where you've already potentially done the work that needs to be done. I mean, you've done the work that needs to be done to get you to the place that you are now. And perfectionism is a fickle friend, so I would recommend that you try to have a balanced approach to your Virgo energy, if you will. I know that you are a Gemini, but Virgo is the energy of refinement and perfectionism, and there is power in that, but it comes with a need for balance. So I feel like for some of you, if you've been feeling this like incessant need to be perfect, you need to slow down and recognize that no one and nothing is perfect. We are all works in progress. And also to acknowledge how far you've already come. I feel like a lot of you maybe are not giving yourself credit for the shifts and the changes that you guys have made within yourself or within your life. Again, some of you are graduating something, and I feel like some of you are maybe deserving to take some time out to really celebrate that. Like, this is probably a landmark of an event for you, whether internally or externally, and I think you have some opportunities to enjoy that. Now, I will pull up this last card that, to me, I guess this comes more with caution. I pulled in reverse the card of Amethyst. This card is all about the subconscious mind, subconscious patterns, maybe familiarity, falling into old patterns or getting stuck in them. And this card, the theme, the message of this card, especially in the upright, is that it is important for you to let go of the patterns that no longer serve you and healing those wounds that really need to be released. And I do feel, because this was in reverse, that for some of you, maybe this has been a blockage for you. Maybe this has been the blockage that's standing in the way of your journey to self-mastery, is this level of being, I guess, falling into subconscious patterns. Now, interesting themes. Again, we have, I know that the stone is black, but cards are orange. We've got green, so orange and green. Maybe some sacral chakra work. You guys might want to be a little bit more creative, making sure that you are speaking clearly how you feel, being in touch with your heart, being in touch with your emotions. I'm going to pull from the same deck one more time to see if they want to expand on anything in the way of, like, oh god, okay, they want to expand. Great, we'll just leave it at that. So Amazonite in reverse, I pulled this one a lot, all about truth and revelation in reverse. I think there's some level of yourself that you're gonna have revealed to yourself. You're gonna see pieces of yourself that maybe have been hidden. I feel like for some of you, consciously choosing to step out of subconscious patterns, consciously choosing to acknowledge, okay, I'm acting out of habit right now, I'm not acting out of an authentic state of being. I feel like that choice will help lead you to the self-mastery, and in that self-mastery, you're going to find some level of truth about yourself or about your path or about what is next for you. I feel like maybe some of you don't really know what's next, and that might give you a little bit of guidance. I pulled for you the first card in the deck, which is Azurine. This one's all about impeccability with your word, being true to yourself. So for some of you, maybe it will be a theme to be honest with who you are and how you feel. I feel like there's definitely a theme that's coming through with your willingness to, what's the word I'm looking for? Your willingness to expose the truth about how you feel to yourself and to others. With a card of Blue Lace Agate, this one's all about peaceful acceptance and stress-free non-attachment. So for some of you, I feel like kind of moving back to that, honestly, the Amethyst card, I feel like some of you are gonna be realizing that there are just like attachments you've held to certain patterns, to certain people, or maybe your unhealthy pattern is attachment itself, not in a healthy way, but like an unhealthy level of attachment. So I feel like some of you in developing the self-mastery this week are going to have the ability to work through why you might be attaching or overly attaching to things too much. And the final piece of information that might be helpful for you is from the card of Lemurian Quartz in reverse. Now, Lemurian Quartz, I think this one's like the Sagittarius card, all about big picture thinking, unlocking new potential by being open to things. So I do feel like for some of you, it's interesting. This one's been a theme this week as well. I feel like for some of you, taking the bigger, like step out, zoom out a little bit, especially if you've been stuck in subconscious patterns or old ways of doing things, especially if you have been kind of muddied by, I feel like some of you are just muddied by your old way of doing things. You have a really beautiful opportunity this week, again, to step back and to see things from a different light, seeing things from a different light, seeing yourself from a different light, allowing yourself to see your full truth. All of this, going back to the first card that I pulled for you guys, all of this goes back to Green Aventurine, which is going to open new doors, and those new doors are going to help you to create what you need for a level of self-mastery. So honestly, my Geminis, you've got everything going for you. You've got a really beautiful card pull for this upcoming week. Okay, my hand's feeling drawn to the tarot, so I will pull from this deck just to see if there's anything else that I think you guys should be aware of. Cautions or excitements. I feel like maybe some things that you guys have that you can look forward to for this upcoming week. Okay, my Geminis, so I pulled for you a very interesting lot of cards. I pulled for you guys the Judgment card, Five of Swords in reverse, and Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I honestly, the way I would boil this down, I think some of you are in situations where you might be required to utilize your brain, your logical thinking skills, as well as your intuition. Whenever Judgment card comes up, it does typically acknowledge a level of there's a need for you to be cognizant of how you feel, but this one's all about like a level of almost like spiritual judgment. Not that you were judging other people, but you're in a position now where you have the, I feel like, again, going back to the Numite, the self-mastery card, I feel like some of you have this capacity to make decisions that maybe in the past you wouldn't have felt super clear on making, but now you have everything that you need to make those choices. You have the intellect that you need. You also have the intuition, and you have worked with your intuition, I feel like, enough for it to be strong enough for you to really listen and understand what it is trying to tell you. So I do feel like, along with the Numite, the self-mastery card, this is a very encouraging card for you guys, that I think you're in a position where you're ready to make the right decision in something. The Five of Swords in the upright position, there is a level of conflict with other people. In the reverse, it usually implies like a situation that can't be won, if you will. So I do feel like some of you may be dealing with another, I feel like I'm getting fire energy, maybe some Sagittarians, I don't know, some Leos. Some of you may be dealing with another person where there is potentially conflict that just you can't reach a resolution, excuse me. And I think the positive side of this card is that in the reverse, there's a level of like giving up on the argument, but that can be a good thing, in that if you realize, okay, this is going nowhere, like maybe we can just agree to disagree, it might actually open up space for you to leave the conflict or to drop the conflict and focus on the parts of your connection that do matter. So I do feel like for some of you, maybe that's where the Judgment card comes in. You might be identifying what battles are worth fighting and which ones are not. And if there are some that are coming out of ego, again, with the self-mastery, I do feel like you'll have a better understanding of like which ones are really worthwhile for you to be putting all of your energy into. So again, we have Judgment, we have okay, let's make sure that's upside down. Five Swords in reverse, and we also have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, this can imply that you might be a little bit hesitant about moving forward with something. Maybe there is an offer or an invitation. There's something that you're not fully sure if you want to move forward on it. And the advice with this card is to, like, if you're second guessing and third guessing and constantly questioning whether or not you want to do something, it will likely benefit you to not move forward until you feel ready. So with the Judgment card, I think you will know when that is. You don't have to be 100% ready, but I feel like 60% is the number I always go by. Like, if you're 60% sure of something, that's usually enough clarity to move forward in a decision. If it doesn't feel like enough for you, of course, feel free to wait until you have more, or you have more clarity, more information, etc. It's your life, but I would say you know, and you will know how much you need to know in order to move forward. This card can also imply a level of like a need to not be weary in your financial dealings, but just be conscientious. Pentacles, coins, cards, these are all about materiality. So for some of you, there may be some, I don't know, new ventures, new possible connections, new etc. And again, it all comes back down to this. Maybe you're not sure if you want to move forward something or not, but because I pulled the Judgment card in the upright, I do feel like you have the tools that you need to make the decisions that you need to make. And this is all, if you're in this position where you're wondering like, why am I having these things popping up? I feel like this all goes back to the self-mastery, the card of Numite, that is encouraging you, that you are in a chapter or in a phase of your life. I mean, this is kind of a constant, but I feel like right now, especially, you are developing and honing the self-mastery, and you have done a beautiful job so far. So give yourself a little bit of credit, my Geminis. Give yourself a little bit of grace. You're doing awesome. I think you have all the tools that you need. If you have decisions that you need to make, excuse me, I don't know why that just happened. And if you don't feel like you have crazy decisions that you need to be making or anything this week, then I would just say this is a beautiful time. Some doors are opening. Whatever choices you do make, going back to that green aventurine, like whatever choice that you do make, it's going to open up doors for you. So you have beautiful things on the horizon for you, my dear Geminis. Have faith, hang in there. I think you're doing great. If you have questions on anything, you can always reach out to me. I am on Instagram and TikTok at alexab.alchemy. You can also shoot me a message here on YouTube or write something in the comments below and I will reach out to you. And finally, if you aren't already subscribed, please make sure that you do so. I do these readings free of charge every single week. If you ever want to leave a donation, you always can, but I like to provide these, so anytime you need guidance, you can always tune in. And if it resonated, leave me a little thumbs up so I know. Thank you, my dear Geminis. I love you so much, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.